Okay, now that Mickey Mouse has turned in this assignment, if you look up here, in my assignment tab, there are 3 columns, and one is the assignment itself, and then there is one for done and one for not done. Now it says 1 in the done column because that assignment has been turned in, and it says 0 in the not done. Now you're supposed to be able to click on these so that you can see all of the done assignments and all of the not done assignments, but right now it appears that that feature is not working. Let me expand this full screen to talk about what you can do for grading this and stuff. Now, I will say from the teacher point of view, you can get to seeing just who's done, and here's how you do it. Up here where it says assignment status and assignment details, if you click on assignment details, then these are actually clickable. So I can click on one done, and now they're not clickable. Earlier when I did this, I was able to click on them from here and see who was done and who was not done. But apparently that changed. Isn't that wonderful? Anyway, let's talk about this view and what I can do. There's a location here for grading, and you can choose what grade you want. You can do out of 1, 20, 50, or 100, or you can choose ungraded if this is an ungraded assignment. If you want to grade something, you can type in here, and you can type that the student got 100 if you want to, or whatever you want to do. Now, when you type in a grade, a check will automatically go in this box here, and that check represents the assignments that you want to return to your students when you're ready to return them. If you don't want to return it yet, you can uncheck the box, and you can do that. Now, if you click on the student's name in this screen, it will give you more information. It will show you what's been submitted. If there's only one assignment to submit, it'll only show you that. But when you need to click on their name in order to click on and go to the assignment that they submitted. You can also see the submission history. If they have 3 or 4 different submissions, you can click on the submission history and see all of those submissions. Now, if you are going to grade an assignment in Google Classroom, you have to return that assignment to the students. Google Classroom does not allow you to grade and then not return the assignment. So that's another issue that I kind of have, because if I want to keep it for a while, I can't grade it and then return it. But if you don't like that feature, you can just grade it outside of Classroom instead of actually having it graded as out of 100 here. But then I can click on this and I can return this to the student. Now, once I return it to the student, yes, I want to return the assignment. And it says here that ownership will go back to Mickey. And it also says that I can add notes. So if I want to return it and add some notes, so I want to tell them what they want to fix. Fix this thing. I can tell them what they need to fix. And then they can actually work on it some more and turn it back in. So what's nice about this feature is it allows you to do some back and forth with your student. If you have an assignment that is going to be turned in over time and you want them to edit it and do things like that, you're capable of doing it with this program. You also don't have to grade it right away. You can return it without a grade and then come back later and put the grade on when you're finally done with the assignment. But at the end, when everything is all said and done and it's returned, the final ownership is going to be in the hands of the student after you hit that return button. Now, once you return an assignment, I said that you could go back and forth and students can resubmit and stuff like that. When an assignment has been returned, you can see this resubmit button right here, and that resubmit button will allow you to, or allow the student to resubmit their assignment. And then along with that, it will have any comments that I made. So you can see this comment that the teacher made that says fix this thing, so that if you gave instructions in that comment for what needed to be tweaked or fixed, then the student would have a direction for where to go. You can also edit the document itself. You can go to the document and use comments on the document to make comments that the students can look at and adjust that way, as opposed to doing it outside of the document. A lot of times it might be easier to make corrections inside of the document instead of outside in just one window. Alright, now I wanted to show you a couple of other things, so I did a couple of other assignments. I did 2 different assignments down here. One is where I had the student never turn something in. So I have something here that's an assignment, and my student, Mickey Mouse, has never turned this assignment in. So I'm in the teacher view right now. If I click on this, what happens here is it says late in the status, and because it says late, then I know that the student hasn't turned it in yet. So anytime the status says late, that just means that the student has never completed that submission. The other possibility is if they turned it in, but they turned it in late. So I set up this assignment, and I set it up for earlier this morning, and then I made sure that this student turned it in late. So then when it finished, they turned it in late, so the status says done because they turned it in, but then in parentheses it says late. So it will show you when students don't turn anything in, when they turn it in but it's late, or when they turn it in and it's on time. And when it's on time, this status just shows that it's green instead of red. Now, the one other thing, and I think I messed it up so I can't really do it, but I can talk about it, is if a student never goes to an assignment, and it's due already, and they never got the assignment. Well, let me show you this way. A teacher can then, let me go to the teacher view. A teacher can return something that's never been assigned. So I'm going to put a grade in here. Oh, well, I don't need to put a grade, but I can return this to the student, and it gets returned to them even though they've never done it. Okay? So they've never done this. Needs to be completed, and I'm returning it to them. Okay, so now if they click on it, instead of submit, there's something here that says resubmit. The other thing that can happen is if a student never actually clicks on an assignment and they don't get this template to come up, at this point, because they've never created the template before, when the student tries to resubmit an assignment or they try to look at it, it will have a little pop-up that says down here, do you want to create this? And it'll say something like it's never been created, do you want to create this? But that'll happen anytime a student does not turn it in originally or doesn't even go to the assignment. But I accidentally went to this assignment earlier, so I can't show you that feature, and it'll just open up. In any case, that is most, if not all, of the different interactions that you can see from the teacher and student side of things when you're working with this. Now, the reason that I did both the teacher and the student is because I think it's important from the teacher point of view to know what these things will look like from the student side so that you can troubleshoot a little bit. So let me add a couple more comments in that vein, and that is just simply that right now, I have experienced some downtime between creating the assignments and the students being able to view it, and that downtime has been as much as 15 minutes. Part of that might be because I'm using Internet Explorer, but another part might just be because it's slow to work. So I would make sure that you create the assignments before you get to class and not actually during the class, because if the downtime is substantial, it will create issues. The second issue that I have is that when assignments have actually been created, it sometimes takes a little bit of time for the students to actually get the template to work, because when they click on the assignment itself is when the assignment is created in the teacher's classroom folder. So until they actually click on the assignment, this is not created. So if you have 30 students, 30 of them have to click on the assignment, and then you would actually see in your drive 30 of these being created, and each one would have a different name for the student, but 30 of them are created at the same time. And there seems to be a little bit of a lag there too, nowhere near as drastic, but it might be a couple of minutes. So you need to be prepared when you're pushing these documents out to students that there might be a 2-minute or so lag time between when they get started and when they can actually view the assignment. And hopefully that gets taken care of or starts getting much faster, but if not, you need to be prepared. And you might want to, that might be a good time to give any further directions or have some other pre-planned things to do in that span of time. So I hope this video is helpful for what you are doing. And until I have another video, hopefully this helps in your class, and let's get to work.